And we're live. We're live.
Thank you. You can sit up there, buddy.
Where's he at?
He was up there.
Yeah.
I do not know where he is now. I think he's trying to get the PowerPoint thing done. I think he's trying to get the slideshows going.
Is he up there?
I don't know. Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's up there.
Would you pray with me? Lord God, we ask you for your almighty hand to be upon us all who graduate today. Bless our lives from this day on with goodness and love. Help us to stay true to our dreams, to use our gifts wisely, and to walk into the future with faith, hope, and great love. May this graduation day be a celebration of our lives with you in it. We give you the praise for the guidance you have granted us throughout our high school years, and may we hold this memory in our hearts as we continue on our adventures. Father, may we live a life that reveals your hope and be guided in everything we do by your everlasting truth. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Seniors, you may be seated. On behalf of the Mount Vernon School Board, administration, staff, student body, I'd like to welcome you to the commencement exercises for the class of 2018. Before we get started, just a reminder, we ask that your cell phones turned off or set to vibrate, hopefully not to interrupt the ceremony. You can do that, appreciate that. Thank you. We're here today to honor and help celebrate the first major milestone accomplishment for these 15 young people as they move on from their elementary and secondary education. I'm sure they're filled with anticipation, along with a little bit of anxiety to find out what that next step has in store for them. As per tradition, I usually share a few thoughts and words of encouragement for the senior class. So bear with me as I do that again today. Seniors, you'd have to listen, yeah, right? Yeah, yeah. I have one last quiz for you. Who could tell me what the word eclectic means? Don't embarrass yourself. All right. No one? Okay, let me tell you. According to dictionary.com, the definition of eclectic means deriving ideas, style, or taste from a broad and diverse range of sources. Seniors, I know you're probably asking yourself, where's Mr. M going with this? Well, I'll tell you. When I think about your class and the class motto you chose, I can't help but get that word eclectic out of my head, especially when I hear the words broad and diverse in the definition. Well, there's only 15 of you, I look at how truly broad and diverse the class is. Your talents, your likes, your interests, not to mention your academic and athletic successes throughout your years of high school. You're quite unique, broad, diverse, not only individually, but collectively as well. Your class motto states, it's not what sets us apart, but what brings us together. I believe the one part of the definition that supports your class motto is the word diverse. It is the diversity of the class over time that sets you apart. As we talked the other day, if you remember, there's only 6 of you graduating here today that were here for all 13 years. While 6 out of the 15 graduates is not a lot, let us not forget the number of students you gained over the years, and you're all still here, sitting here today. Thus, bringing you together, the second phrase of your class motto. The diversity is also represented by the number of students that are one-time classmates and are no longer. I did a little research. Anyone want to guess how many students have been part of the class at some point, aren't here today? Anybody want to take a shot at it? 20. 20 students. Can you believe that? How is that not eclectic? How is that not certainly broad and diverse? But while it is your diversity that set you apart, what is most important is what brings you together. For me, what brings you together is your common goodness. I'm amazed when reflecting back how as a class you've always been accepting, kind, generous, and lighthearted. You always put a smile on your face and did your best to embrace the new students that filtered into your class, which, by the way, happened 9 out of your 13 years of your educational experience. While some of you only been here a couple years, it's very apparent to me that all truly believe that you have been accepted, and you will always remember your time and classmates here at Mount Vernon High School. Yes, you are an eclectic class, broad and diverse in your accomplishments, thoughts, ideas, and future plans, thus setting you apart. But I will always remember the class of 2018 for what brought you together. Your decency, your goodness, your acceptance, and tolerance for those that were new. What superb qualities to have. If you take these qualities with you and apply them to wherever life leads you, I have every confidence in the world you'll have a great life. I'm proud to have had the opportunity to get to know you all and to have watched you grow. Godspeed, best of luck to you all, the class of 2018. Thank you. If you look at the program, at this time, it's been a Mount Vernon tradition that the seniors, as well as their respective family members, are recognized in 2 formats. The first recognition will be for those seniors who are a 2nd or 3rd, and sometimes even a 4th generation graduate of the Mount Vernon High School. So the seniors and respective family members that are present here today, if you could stand and be recognized when I call your name, we would appreciate that. 2nd generation graduates would be Austin Reimnitz, and his late grandfather, Ted Reimnitz, graduated from Mount Vernon High School. And then Tyler Wodroska and his mother, Stephanie Larson Wodroska, graduated from Mount Vernon High School. Those are our 2nd generation graduates. Give them a round of applause, please. 3rd generation graduate, we have just one. Dylan Gerlach, his father, Chip Gerlach, and then his grandmother, Vicki Crockett Gerlach. So, we're in the 3rd generation graduate. The 2nd tradition here at Mount Vernon is to recognize those seniors who will sadly be the last students from their respective immediate families to graduate from Mount Vernon High School. So would the following students stand and remain standing when your name is called so we can recognize those last graduates. Jacob Clark, Jacob Northrup, Kayla Totten, and Shane Williams, the last to graduate from Mount Vernon High School, their immediate family. Give them a round of applause. Okay, if you follow the program, I believe we will now have a musical selection, Ms. Washburn, entitled Fly Away Home, performed by our high school concert choir members and under the direction of Miss Alexis Washburn Gary. Thank you, Mrs. Washburn, concert choir, and the seniors also involved in that. At this time, I'd like to introduce two exceptional but very different young people. These two are on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to personalities. One is very laid back and unassuming, while the other, well, let's just say, a bit noticeable. However, what they do have in common is that drive to want to always do their best. It's that drive, dedication, attention to detail, and countless hours of academic work, which has resulted in their current class standing. It's afforded them the distinction of being named the 2018 class valedictorian and salutatorian. So, ladies and gentlemen, I give you the class salutatorian, Isabel Reyes, with the class valedictorian, Kyle Lanzer, to follow.
Alright. Okay. So this speech is going to be much harder to get through than any speech I've ever recited or prepared, so please bear with me. As I've gone through my 4 years of high school, I have had many experiences. I have had my heart broken a couple of times, I have been disappointed many times, and I have let myself down many times. But I would not change a single experience or time that I have had over these past 4 years. Over the last 4 years, I have grown to become a more caring person, a more responsible person, and overall just a better person. The experiences I have had have shaped me to start on the road to becoming the person I want to be. Though I would not take back or change any of the experiences that I have had, there are lessons and helpful tidbits I wish I would have known over the past 4 years, or even going into high school. First and foremost, always bring a pair of headphones to school. I know this may seem not that helpful at this point, but you will soon understand. The reason I say to bring headphones is that in some classes, like Mr. Schaefer's, if you don't have headphones, you're going to be pretty much stuck listening to Mozart for an entire period. And if you don't like Mozart, well, you're stuck. Secondly, on a more serious note, go to the events at school. This may be hypocritical coming from me, seeing as I never went to any of them, but here's the deal. Don't be like me. I didn't go to those events because I was so scared of fitting in and being myself. I thought that since I wasn't into sports and I didn't like them, that I shouldn't have gone. But I was so wrong, and that's the worst part because there isn't any time to change that. Like Schaefer says, do as I say, not as I do. Go to the games, go to the events, be with your classmates and support them. One day you will look back on all of the amazing memories you made and you will keep them forever and be so happy that you did. This brings me to my third lesson I wish I would have already known. Do not ever be afraid to be exactly who you are. No holding back, no exceptions, and never change yourself for anyone. What I mean by that is don't try to be somebody else or not be yourself just to try to fit in because you're scared. You are going to grow and form into your own person. We all do. And although that will happen, you can still be the person you are at that moment. I spent so much time in my high school career trying to hide who I was because I was ashamed of myself. I spent so many years getting down on myself, and it took me so long to finally love who I was. I understand that it's really hard during these years to always love who you are and always be happy with exactly who you are, but that doesn't mean that you can't. Being around people who accept you for who you are is going to be the best thing you can ever do. The best friends you will ever have are going to be the ones that will come to you and accept you for exactly who you are. The friends who expect you to not change are the ones that are worth it. Be around people who leave you open to be exactly who you are in that moment. Trust me, high school is hard enough without having to conform to be somebody you're not. Moving on, I have a fourth point, a tidbit, or maybe a lesson for some. Grades do matter. Say it again in your head for emphasis. Grades do matter. When I was a freshman in high school, I did not care much about my grades. I pushed them off to the side, and as long as I had C's or above, I was okay. This, in the end, killed my GPA. I was never able to get a GPA higher than a 3.78 because of this. My lack of organization, my lack of caring, my lack of putting my best effort forward as a younger person has now held me back from doing better in the future. I know 8th graders who are sitting there thinking that grades are just letters on paper, or grades are just grades, but they're not. Grades dictate your future. They dictate where you're going to college and how much money you're going to spend on going to college. They dictate what kind of career you're going to get in the future. Whether you plan on going into the workforce or going to a technical institute or you plan on going to a 4-year school, if you plan to have a future, your grades do matter. Over the last 4 years, I have worried a lot. And anybody who knows me can tell you that. I have looked at assignments and stressed myself out so much that I would cry just the thought of completing those assignments. But every single time I was stressed, one of the teachers would always calm me down. Whether it was Mr. Schaefer letting me ask him 100 questions, or Mr. Johnson letting me come in at 7 in the morning to get help with math homework, Mrs. Punk giving me random words of encouragement and telling me to stay calm, Mr. Hetland helping me with physics because math and science together really just are not my thing, or Mrs. Diner, aka Darce, talking to me for whole periods and listening to me vent about my problems. There are so many other teachers that have helped me, and it would take so long to mention all of them. The point is, do not take them for granted. Your teachers are some of the best people you're ever going to meet in your entire life, and they will be there for you no matter what, and they only want to help you. And I know it's hard sometimes because you get frustrated or angry at them, but try to see it from both sides. I promise, one day you will not regret it. On the topic of appreciation, your parents. Seriously, appreciate your parents. Those are the people who will love you unconditionally, no matter what you throw at them. Parents have been through struggles just like we have, and as you grow older, you realize that they really do give the best advice and know you better than anyone. I would have never made it this far if it wasn't for my mom pushing me to always do better and pushing me to always do my best. I remember coming home so many times, so stressed, feeling like I was drowning, and feeling like my mom was some kind of superhero because she always knew exactly what to say and exactly what to do to make me feel better. Just take a day or two to appreciate them, and I promise you won't regret it. Lastly, the most important lesson I could ever tell you is it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be stressed out and confused. It is okay. No matter what anybody tells you, high school is hard. It's not the hardest experience you will ever face in your life, but it is hard. It's okay to take a step back and consider your mental health for a second, rather than considering anything else. Please, though, no matter what you do not give up. Soak up every single memory and push yourself to go as hard as you can and do your best in everything you do. It will pay off in the end. Up until 2 days ago, man, I was ready for this. I was ready to be up here. I was ready to be done. But now I'm thinking about it, and I'm really not ready. But I feel like that's okay. I feel like it's okay to not be ready. But I found a quote that sums up what I would like to say to my class. To accomplish great things, we must not only act, but also dream. Not only plan, but also believe and tell friends. We must believe in ourselves and set a path for ourselves that we can follow to achieve our dreams. Because I know that each and every one of us is capable of achieving every one of our dreams and more. So here's to us, the lessons we have learned, and the laughs we have shared. I promise you I will never forget any of it.
Good afternoon. It is an honor to be here today and address you on behalf of the Mount Vernon class of 2018. We thank each of you for attending today and celebrating with us. April 3rd, 2007, a day 11 years ago that changed my life. I was on vacation with my family in Texas, and we decided to attend an NBA game. I arrived at the AT&T Center, not knowing anything about the teams that would be competing. I watched the San Antonio Spurs Big Three of Tim Duncan, Tony Parker, and Manu Ginobili defeat the Seattle Supersonics 110-91. Their teamwork on both ends of the court was incredible to watch. I left the arena a die-hard San Antonio Spurs fan. Here's a picture of me on that day. After that trip, I began to follow the Spurs' schedule and games on TV. The team went on to win their 4th NBA championship that summer. Coach Greg Popovich had developed a winning culture in San Antonio. He was and is today a no-nonsense kind of guy. He is tough on his players, but also finds ways to bring out the best in them. He strives to develop loyalty and a sense of family within his team that translates into amazing teamwork and unity on the court. In 2014, the Spurs won a fifth national championship, and their style of play was nicknamed the Beautiful Game. Please turn your attention to the screen for a short video.
So many times we promote the individual. Oh, LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant. But then we leave out something that's really unique and special, and that's team and team basketball. I sat there and watched this team carve the Clippers up by playing basic, fundamental basketball, and it was beautiful to watch. It reminded me of my era, the way we used to play the Celtics, just smart and great basketball. And I'm happy that we are seeing it in America. You need to appreciate the San Antonio Spurs, this team, well coached. And I'm just, sometimes you're lost for words. All you need to do is just watch this team and they'll say it all.
If you're curious about the game of basketball, you watch them play. If you want the glitz and glamour and all the dunks and maybe focus in on another team, and it's a credit to the organization, the ownership, R.C. Buford, Pop and his staff, and the players. Everybody's in the same circle, and they believe in it. They're not all seeking a lot of glamour and everything else. It's a great way to play the game.
I soon learned that my love and admiration of the Spurs was not shared by many of my friends. They were more drawn to the high-flying, power-dunking superstars in the league, players such as Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Steph Curry. My favorite players didn't seem to attract much attention or following. I was always disappointed to walk into a sports store and never see any San Antonio Spurs merchandise. For some reason, the Spurs just weren't flashy enough for most people. I guess their players didn't show enough emotion when they scored baskets or talk enough smack when they were interviewed. Funny, I guess that's one of the biggest reasons why I like them so much. So as I prepared for this speech, it was suggested that I talk about something that has meaning to me. As you can see, the obvious choice was the San Antonio Spurs. I mean, why not take this opportunity to show a Spurs video and possibly pick up a couple new fans? On a serious note, when I began to think about the Spurs organization, I saw some good life advice from my classmates and myself to think about. Living life the Spurs way can be summed up in 5 main points. Number 1, get over yourself. The Spurs head coach Greg Popovich once said, "We're looking for people who have gotten over themselves." You can talk to somebody for 4 to 5 minutes and tell if it's about them or if they understand that they're just a piece of the puzzle. Getting over yourself means taking a step back and looking at the big picture. It means remembering that the focus can't always be on our own happiness. Sometimes we will have to make sacrifices for our family, friends, and coworkers to make the world a more peaceful one. Number 2, surround yourself with honesty. Spurs assistant coach Chip Engelland was quoted as saying, "A lot of coaches can yell or be nice, but what Pop does is different. He'll tell you the truth, and then he'll love you to death." I think each of us classmates have experienced a moment in the past when someone informed us we were not living up to our potential. Not to mention any names, but someone around here likes to throw around the words, "do due diligence." Feedback and criticism can be difficult to hear, but beneficial to growing and changing. If we hope to improve ourselves, we should develop a circle of family and friends that not only gives us encouragement, but also provides us with honest opinions. Number 3, never stop improving. According to Coach Pop, if we can come out of every practice and every game learning something that we did well or that we did poorly, we can go from there. In life, just as in sports, there is always room for improvement. A perfect game, perfect job performance, or perfect relationship does not exist, but it doesn't mean that we don't keep trying to do better. By setting higher standards for ourselves, we make not only our own lives better, but impact others around us as well. Number 4, be mentally tough. One of my favorite quotes by Popovich is the following: "The measure of who we are is how we react to something that does not go our way." Think about that for a moment. How do we respond when we're having a bad day? Do we take it out on others? Do we make excuses? This past season was one of the toughest for the San Antonio Spurs because their leading scorer and defender, Kawhi Leonard, sat out with an injury. The Spurs struggled to keep a winning season and make the playoffs, a feat they had accomplished for the past 20 years. In addition, the media spread rumors of trades, and Coach Popovich lost his wife during the first round of the playoffs. Despite these difficulties, the Spurs coach and his players conducted themselves with class. We all experience tough times in our life, but how we react in these moments reveals our character and can be an inspiration to others. Number 5, widen your world. Coach Pop feels it's important for his players to think about more than just basketball. He wants them to become aware of the world around them and often quizzes them on world politics. Popovich once said, I think it's sad if a person's whole self-image and self-worth is based in their job. Regardless of your occupation, why not try your best to live a more interesting life that includes other people, other cultures, and different worlds? Those are wise words to think about. Whether you travel to faraway places, road trip across the country, or just read a newspaper, you soon learn that the world is about more than just your zip code. By recognizing we share this world with many others and not everyone sees things the same way as we do, our tolerance and understanding of others increases. These 5 principles are the Spurs way and are good points for us graduates to think about as we head out into the world. Get over yourself, surround yourself with honesty, never stop improving, be mentally tough, and widen your world. If we each took just one of these points to heart as we move forward in life, the impact in our world would be significant. I'd like to close my speech with comments Greg Popovich made in 2016 when he addressed San Antonio high school students. He was asked when the Spurs would be winning another championship. He answered, "Win a championship? I don't know, but it's not a priority in my life. I'd be happier if I knew that my players were going to make society better, have good families, and take care of the people around them. I'd get more satisfaction out of this than any title. I would love to win another championship, and we'll work our butts off to try to do that. But we have to want more than that. I want you students to understand that you can overcome obstacles by being prepared and educating the heck out of yourselves. If you become respectful, disciplined people in this world, you can fight anything. You have to believe in yourself." I hope my classmates and I will take his advice. I wish each of my fellow graduates the best of luck with their future plans, and thank everyone here today that helped provide the class of 2018 with the education, life lessons, and love they needed to reach this day. Go Spurs, go.
Thank you, Isabel and Kyle. This is my 13th year here and my 25th year overall in education. I can honestly tell you, those are the 2 best graduation commencement speeches that I've ever heard. Yeah. Next, if JC and Kayla will come forward, they were going to give you a little synopsis of what the seniors, I guess, mean to them. I guess they decided to call them class zingers, I guess. So we'll see what they got in store.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the 2018 Mount Vernon High School graduation ceremony. We want to thank you all for coming, and right now we're just going to present the class zingers.
You might be Jesus Apodaca if you ate an eraser on your first day of school at Mount Vernon in an attempt to make friends.
You might be Jesus Arias if you peed yourself while watching the movie Pumpkinhead.
You might be Jacob Clark if your one true love is a combine.
You might be Dylan Gerlach if you're constantly trying to get Schaefer off topic during class.
You might be Kyle Glanzer if you hide bananas in ceiling tiles. Also, you might be Kyle Glanzer if you asked if the corn pile was in the national park during geography. He claims he was joking, but we aren't so sure.
You might be JC Goldhammer if you think that napping is an Olympic sport.
You might be Jamie Hansen if you broke your finger playing football.
You might be Jacob Northrup if you spend more time in the Mount Vernon hallways than you do in the classrooms during school.
You might be Austin Ryman if you think basketball is a sport from the gods.
You might be Isabel Reyes if you thought that Mark Twain was the hick who sang The Ring of Fire.
You might be Kayla Totten if you argue more than you breathe.
I don't.
Here we go again.
I don't. You might be Zach Waldner if your family has a legacy at parties.
You might be Cammy Walls if you're incredibly good at every sport you participate in.
You might be Shane Williams if you can eat a bag of potato chips every day and not gain a single pound.
You might be Tyler Nebraska if you drove away with your computer on your car.
Alright, that's all we have for you guys. That's our class singers. We hope you enjoyed them. Thanks for listening.
Okay, this time for the program, the seniors would now like to take this opportunity to say thank you, recognize all their parents, their family members, their friends, for all their love, their support, their sacrifices, dedication, and hard work that has helped them to get to where they are today. So, junior marshals, come forward, please. Seniors, go ahead and rise and on your way.
Remember when I was young, so time stood still. Love was all we knew. You were the first, so was I. Made love and then you cried. Remember Remember when vowed and vowed to walk the walk, gave our hearts, made the start, and it was hard. We lived and learned, life through curves. There was joy, there was hurt. Remember when Remember when old ones died, new were born, life was changed. Disassembled, rearranged, we came together, fell apart, broke each other's hearts. Remember when wasn't using me. We danced till we brought back the love. We found drugs, vowed we never give it up. Remember when? Remember when? 30 seems so old now, looking back. It's just a stepping stone to where we are, where we've been. Said we'd do it all again. Remember when? Remember when? We said when we turned gray, women and children grow up and move away. We won't be sad, we'll be glad for all the life we've had. And we'll remember when. Remember when. Remember when.
One moment. Now, program-wise, the seniors have put together, actually Jamie Hanson, a little help from JC and Kayla, have put together a senior class slideshow. So if you bear with us a little bit longer, turn your attention to the screen here. Coach Christensen will play the slideshow here. I think everybody should be able to see it with the lights the way they are. So.
The older I get, the more I think. You only get a minute to live while you're just gone to play. And the older I get, the truer it is. It's the people you love, not the money and stuff that makes you rich. And if they found a fountain of you, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get, the fewer friends I have. But you don't need a lot, and the ones that you got always got your back. And the older I get, the better I am. Knowing when to give and when to just not give a damn. And if they found a fountain of you, I wouldn't drink a drop, and that's the truth. Funny how it feels, I'm just getting to my best years yet. The older I get.
And I don't mind all the lines from all the times I've laughed and cried. Souvenirs and little signs of the life I've lived. The older I get, the longer I pray. I don't know why, I guess that I've got more to say. And the older I get, the more thankful I feel for the life I had and all the life I'm living still. Couple cane poles sitting down by the creek. Lines in the water, watching those flowers, seeing that red sun sink. Mama's on the porch yelling supper's hot. Y'all come and get it. We in 5 more minutes. At 16, it was 12:03, standing at her front door. Katie said it's at midnight, but we needed just a little more. Yellow light flipping on and off, interrupting that good night kissing. We wanted 5 more minutes. Time goes by, the clock don't stop. I wish I had a few more drops of the good stuff, the good times. Oh, but they just keep on flying right on by like it ain't nothing. I wish I had me a pause button. Moments like those, Lord knows I hit. And give myself 5 more minutes. 18, turn my helmet in, walk to the 50-yard line. Just the coach and me after we lost 8-10-9. And I cried, man, next time to get in here, I'll have to buy a ticket. Can't you give me 5 more minutes? Time goes by, the clock don't stop. I wish I had a few more drops of the good stuff, the good times. Oh, but they just keep on flying right on by like it ain't nothing. I wish I had me a pause button. Moments like those, Lord knows I hit. And give myself 5 more minutes. There's angels in the room. All the family gathered round, knew the time was coming soon. With so much left to say, I pray, Lord, I ain't finished. Just give us 5 more minutes. Time goes by, the clock don't stop. I wish I had a few more drops of the good stuff, the good times. Oh, but they just keep on flying right on by like it ain't nothing. I wish I had me a pause button. Moments like those, Lord knows I need. Yeah, sometimes it's alright to leave you wishing that you had 5 more minutes. moments.
Having met the requirements of the South Dakota State Department of Elementary Education and the Mount Vernon School District, and based on the powers granted to me, I present to the Mount Vernon School Board Vice President Dale Larsh the 2018 8th grade class to be graduated at this time. Will the 8th grade class please rise and come forward to accept your diplomas? Emily Jean Baker. Maria Lee Baker. Isaac Scott Estabrook. Gracie Ann Hillhouse. Krista Elizabeth Glanzer. Lexi Jane Goldhammer. Peyton Nicole Gortmaker. Riley Joe Gregerson. Samantha Ray Gukeisen. Caleb Lee Hawk. Lincoln Eldon Clues. Cole Richard Larsh. Emily J. Maltzberger. Miles Dean Nicholson. Tessa Elizabeth Pickert. Cole Dennis Pranger. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the 8th grade class of 2018. One more round of applause, please. Having met the requirements of the South Dakota State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education and the Mount Vernon School District, and based on the powers granted to me, I present to the Mount Vernon School Board President, Mr. Ryan Youngstrom, the 2018 senior class to be graduated at this time. Will the senior class please rise and come forward to accept your diplomas? Parents, feel free, if you can come forward, if you want to take a picture right here. I've instructed them to pause, but we'll see what happens. So, Kyle Keith Glanzer. Isabel Gabriela Reyes. Jesus Alfredo Apodaca. Jesus Alexis Arias Lopez. Jacob Jeffrey Clark. Dylan Lee Gerlach. JC Joe Goldhammer. Jamie Laverne Francis Hanson. Jacob Eugene Arlen Northrop. Austin Michael Reimnitz. Kayla May Totten. Zachary Paul Waldner. Cammie Joe Walls. Shane Alexander Williams. Tyler James Wodrowska. Ladies and gentlemen, my pleasure to present to you Mount Vernon's graduating class of 2018. Isabel Reyes will now lead us in a short benediction.
If you would bow your heads with me, please. Dear Lord, high school is a journey. It is a journey that each of us must endure, but it is also a journey that each of us get the privilege to endure. I am happy to say that I have loved every second of it, whether I've admitted it or not. Please help my classmates to go on their way in truth and make the right decisions and follow their dreams in every single aspect they've ever wanted to. In your name, let them trudge on through any trial or any hardship that they may have. Please push them to keep going no matter what happens. In your name we pray. Amen.
This concludes our ceremony for today. I do have one announcement. We would ask those that are seated in the bleacher section or those that are not family to allow family to follow the graduates out to the reception area. One note on the reception area, due to the weather, we will go through the community center, through the glass vestibule, into the school, and the graduates will be lined up through that first hallway. If you keep going, you can take a left or a right to exit the building at that stage of the game. Other than that, thank you for attending today's ceremonies. Have a nice, safe afternoon. Seniors, you're not heads. You are dismissed. Thank you.
Only somebody would have told me that soon as it could be the good old days, all the love you forget, and all these reckless nights you regret. Soon as when your heart's gonna change, soon as the magic is good.
I was thinking about the band. I was thinking about the bands. We were underground. Loading merch in that 12-passenger van in a small club in Minnesota. And the snow outside the first half. I just wanted my name to start. And look at where we at, still growing up. Still growing up. I'm laying my bed and dream about what I'd become. Couldn't wait to get on. Couldn't wait to be some. Now that I'm here, wishing I was still young. Let's go. I wish somebody would have told me, babe, that Sunday things would be the good old days. All the love you won't forget, and all these reckless nights you won't regret. The Sunday soon your whole life's gonna change. You'll miss the magic and the good old days. Wish I didn't think I had the answers. Wish I didn't drink all of that glass first. Wish I made it to homecoming. Got up the courage to ask her. Wish I would have gotten out of my shell. Wish I put the bottle back on that shelf. Wish I wouldn't have worried about what the people thought and felt comfortable with myself. Rooftop open. And the stars above. All the souls is sinking out and all in love. Me, you, and our friends, we just begun. All the nights dreaming, figuring out who I was. Let's get over. I wish somebody would have told me, babe.
Oh, you just want me